All right. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the redpillinvestor.com, as well as my channel on YouTube at Sell More Homes Now. Today, we're going to have a very quick, brief prospecting session. I got a couple things I got to do today. I've got a couple appointments that are coming in. I've got a meeting to go to. So we're going to have to jump right into the prospecting and the news to make sure we get it covered today. So if you're joining me for the very first time, thank you. I appreciate it. You may want to go ahead and check this out on the redpillinvestor.com, which is my podcast. I typically go ahead and download these these videos. I strip the audio right from them and I take them, put them right on the podcast. So you can go ahead and listen to them in between appointments, on your way to the next appointment, your next house, your next appointment, whatever it may be. Hopefully you'll pick up a tip or a trick, something that I said that helped you. That way you can go ahead, use that in your business to help your customers, help your clients, and most importantly, help your community, because there's just an awful lot of practitioners out there that really aren't that good, and you deserve to take all the business because you are a good provider. You're a good person and you deserve to go ahead and do all those good things. So we got a lot of great news. We got a lot of great prospecting, but we don't have a lot of time. So let's take it right away to the Lord in prayer. Lord, thank you so much for this day. We are very grateful for everything you've given us. We're grateful for the food that you've given us, our daily bread. Lord, we're grateful for our health, our families. Help us to be mindful today, Lord, of the things that we need to do better in your name. Help us to remember that the things we do are for your glory. Help us to learn things, Lord, that will bring honor to your name. Help us to do it all. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Okay, so let's get started. Today, let's begin prospecting. So, dial. Here we go. All right. Phone is in place. We're going to prospect here for about maybe 40 minutes. And then we're going to have to go ahead and cut it short. So let's go ahead get cracking on some of the news that you might have read in the description that might have been interesting to you. Let's go ahead and jump into something that I felt was one of the more important stories. This comes to us from Andrea Require. She's over there at Market Watch. You know that I tend to read a lot of her stories. She's one of the predominant authors, I think, probably to say, over at Market Watch when it comes to real estate news. I noticed that she writes an awful lot of their articles. And so that's why you'll hear me talking a lot. And she's a very good writer. She does a lot of good research. So you definitely would be well advised to go over and check out Market Watch and check out this article she wrote on May 30th. Admittedly, this article is 2 weeks old. It took me about 2 weeks to find it. I don't know why I missed it, but it's certainly important for you. Pending home sales fall, marking the 16th straight month of annual declines. 16 straight months of annual declines. Okay, so let's talk about the numbers. Well, the pending home sales fell at a seasonally adjusted 1.5% in April and were 2% lower than a year ago. This is the National Association of Realtors, okay? They're the ones who came up with this data, all right? This is not some crackpot out there with a YouTube page like me. No, this is a for real number. And it says that the National Association of Realtors Index, which tracks the home contract signings, has been volatile, but the trend is solidly downward. And April marked the 16th straight month of annual declines. It says contract signings precede closings by about 45 to 60 days. So the pending home sales index is a leading indicator for upcoming existing home sales reports. Uh-oh. What does this mean? Well, housing seems to be bouncing back from the rough patch at the end of 2018, but as 2019 winds on, that picture is becoming more blurry. On Tuesday, the widely followed Case-Shiller Index report showed that home prices had risen at the slowest pace since mid-2012 in March. Uh-oh. Hey, Now, if you've been following along in the podcast, let's say that you went ahead and subscribed on the podcast, that you subscribed on YouTube, right? Let's say that you've been listening for a while, okay? You've heard me say over the last couple days, okay, that I'm not sure why that number was being called. That's not at all what I want. I don't know how I'm keep calling this guy here. This number is not the number I'm supposed to call. There we go. I thought I had already got this in the right place. There we go. Boom. So anyway, if you've heard in the last couple podcasts I've done, last couple videos I've done, we've been talking about how for the last 7 years, the market has gone up and up and up and up. And then the last quarter, the first quarter of 2019, it's actually started to kind of tip over a little bit in terms of values, in terms of sales. And what we're seeing here is that the pending sales themselves, okay, have fallen again. So here we go. Perspective. Values, prices going up, 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 up for 7 straight years. Up, 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 up. The amount that it's been going up has been decreasing until the quarter of this year, first quarter of 2019, in which case the sales prices tipped over, went down just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. At the same time, for the last 7 years, okay, or I should say the last 16 months, right? The amount of homes in the last 16 months that have been going under contract is lower. It's taking longer for homes to sell. And when they do sell, they're not making as much money as they were 7 year ago. 5, 6, I mean, it's true. The home is worth more. Don't get me wrong, but per year, your increase over year is just not as much. You see what I'm saying? It's similar to people thinking that they can get a home. Buyers today going around wanting a home at 1929 prices, and home sellers thinking that they can still get those 2005 prices. Back when the market was super high. So what does this mean for you as a practitioner? Okay, well, a couple things. If you're a realtor, understand that your clients have to be made aware that it is going to take longer to sell. We are approaching a normal market. The market is changing, okay? I keep saying this till I'm blue in the face, and I'm going to say it long until after this podcast is gone. You have to understand the market is changing. What we're in now nationwide is not normal. It's not. It's abnormal. It's abnormal for people to be able to get a property, okay, and have it sell, I should say, within the first 30 days. That's abnormal.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Wherever I am, by your business. Bye.
Oh, God bless. Oh, I'll tell you. Some days. What's going on? It's taking longer for people to sell. Okay? People like that lady I was just talking to, they go on the market, they see for the last 16 months, they see everybody selling. Their friend, their neighbor, their mother, their brother, everybody from their church, whoever it was, they sold their home, and it was just like that. And they didn't even have any kind of negotiation problems. And the deal just closed super simple. 16 months ago, yeah, that might have been the case. But Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you have to understand the market is changing, right? It's not bad. It's not going terrible. It's changing. And what's it changing to? Changing to a normal market. What's a normal market? A normal market is a market where it takes 3 to 4 to 5 months for a property to sell. Okay, that's why you have a 6-month listing many times. If people say, well, gosh, where did this 6-month listing contract come from? I don't want to list my home with you for 6 months. I mean, you might just sit around and not do anything. That's true. That's certainly true. The reason why people have 6-month listings is because it wasn't always this way. It used to be that the market was normal and that you would take 3-4 months to get a contract, and occasionally a deal would fall through and you might need an extra month or so just to put it back on the market. That's what that was for. That was the purpose of that. Nowadays, people have become spoiled and accustomed to a fast-moving market. And a fast-moving market like that, okay, it becomes commonplace for people to buy and sell real estate in various forms, internet, blockchain, whatever the current thing's going to be. It's going to be common for people to sell. And it many times you're not going to have a ton of problems in a fast-moving market like that where there's not a lot to choose from and people are operating from fear. That's the important distinction I think people forget. People are operating from fear in a marketplace where they feel like they're going to lose out on a good deal. If they feel they're going to lose out on a good property, that's why they take very little time to make a decision. That's why they take very little time to take very thought about how they're going to negotiate a deal. As a matter of fact, a good realtor friend I know, I was just talking to him the other day. He was telling me about one of his customers who found herself in a very similar situation, negotiated her. And you know what? We've all been there. That situation where you've had a customer, really, really, really wants the house, ends up telling the listing agent, hey, I really, really, really want the house. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this house. And you as a buyer's agent are like, oh my gosh, you might as well just give away the farm. And of course, because of timing and the way you've scheduled things and your rental contracts or whatever, I mean, when you think about it, it's not that hard to find how a customer could get themselves into a whole lot of problems negotiating in a good market. I mean, they try to ask for something, but the excitement of the market, the fear of loss, they just accept whatever they can get many times. I was just talking to a lady the other day. She said, when I bought this house, what did I know? I was a first-time home buyer. I was a single mom, had 2 kids. I didn't know. And then when she moved in, 60 days later, she discovers there's a huge crack in the pipe, in the sewer line. Okay. What happens then is people ultimately remember these things. Oh, and you can say, well, gosh, she should have done this or she should have done that. Yeah, okay, I get it. But people grow up and people get older and people talk. And when they get older and when they grow up and when they talk, they make decisions like this and they say, well, gosh, now it's time for me. Let's say this girl or another one, the first-time home buyer that I mentioned before, whoever, they 5 years in the future, they go to buy another house. And they see all the inventory that's currently on the market. So what I really want to put in your head is perspective. I want you to think about this from a 5-year ago perspective. The people who are buying homes today, they had homes many times 5 years ago. I mean, unless, of course, they're a first-time home buyer. But if you're a second-time home buyer, third-time home buyer, something move up, move down, something along those lines, maybe even investors. If you're out there in the marketplace right now, you've probably owned a property in the past. And if you owned a property in the past, you remember what it was like in 2005, 6, 7, 8, and what ultimately ended up happening. For many people, that was a terrifying time where they lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of equity. They had to go back to work. People they knew at companies that had been around for years had collapsed. Those are scary times for people, and they're not anxious to go back to that. And when they're not stupid, it's not like these 16 straight months of annual declines in pending home sales. That's not like that's super secret, to the buyers and the sellers in the world. It's certainly true that it looks like we've called all the expireds and cancels. I'm going to move over real fast here. Let's see if we can call the new expireds. See this new filter here. Looks like I'd already tried contacting her. Okay. So let's contact the new for rent by owners. If you're following along here, you might want to check out the Red X. I've got a link down there in the description for you can save $150 on your setup fee. They've got for rent by owners, for sale by owners, expires, foreclosures, geo leads, the whole kit and caboodle. And I've been using their system for quite some time. I enjoyed this new system that they have, the Vortex CMA, Vortex contact retention management system. Super system. I love it. It's a great system. So right now we're going to jump into some for rent by owners and start calling them. Let's see, dial. Let's see here. We have 7 phone numbers to call, brand new people. So let's see what happens with these 7. Yeah, so homeowners are not, oh, I don't want to call that one. That's in Green Valley. Whoop, too far. Let's get rid of that one. Let's see, remove that. Let's see here. What about this one? What's another one? Okay, what's the story with that? Okay, let's call these people. All right, I don't know what's going to happen. Let's find out. But yeah, your customers are, they're aware. They may not have access to the MLS.
Hello?
Oh, good morning. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good, Carl. What can I do for you?
Yes, ma'am. I was calling about that property you had for rent on Kai Marco. Is that still for rent, or did y'all rent that out
Yes,
already?
it is.
Oh, okay, great. I was calling because again, my name's Carl. I'm a broker who buys property in town. I was calling to see if you'd ever considered selling it. Have you?
Well, we just bought it less than a month ago. So no, not looking to sell it.
Well, God bless your heart. Well, that was a good choice. That's a good neighborhood, ironically, for rentals. So that's a good choice. You made a good choice there.
Thanks, Carl.
Since I got you anyway,
Have a good day.
do you know anybody else who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No, don't know of any.
No worries. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and best of luck on the home. It looks great.
Bye.
It looks great, by the way, in the photos. Some people, you couldn't pay them a compliment even with cash. I really believe that. Oh boy. Yeah. So your clients, they don't have access to the MLS, but they have access to their eyes and they see what's going on. They see all these signs in the yards and people not selling their homes at work, telling them about it. They know what's up. And so it's not surprising that 16 straight months of declines in pending home sales. That tells you there's pooling going on. If you can't figure out why your home isn't selling while all these realtors are doing price reductions, why is this all going on?
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice
I
message.
saw this one today on a Facebook post, said something, it was in an agent group or something. They had said something to the effect. Hello?
Please leave your message for.
They had felt that many of the agents who are on the market these days are just new, and that's why there's so many price reductions, because they didn't price it accurately to begin with. Well, it's certainly true they didn't price it accurately to begin with, but I don't think it has anything to do with them being new. Personally, I think it has to do with the fact that the market is in fact changing. And the faster you get to that realization, the faster you let your customers and clients know the market is starting to normalize, then they will price their properties accurately. That's where you need to be in the first place. You need to be accurate about that. You can't be willy-nilly. Okay, well, we called all the new for rent by owners. Let's go ahead and call all the new foreclosures. Let's call them up here. Let's see how many we got to deal with. As I mentioned, there was only 7 for rent by owners that were brand new. So we're going to call all the new foreclosures. Turns out we got 62 here that are in my little purview. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to delete a couple of these because a couple of these are in areas that I don't really service. Some of them, Green Valley, for example, Sahuarita is another. Those are both great little communities. The problem is that they are a little too far south of me. When you're wholesaling these properties, here's the thing. When I'm calling a property that is a foreclosure, if it's not immediately going to be something that has a potential of being listed or sold for something along, get them out of that situation. If I can't get them out of that situation, let's say, the best thing to do, let's say, is wholesale or whatnot. You want to make sure that you don't do it in an area that is going to be difficult to sell. So, for example, Sarita for me is a little bit far. It's not that it's a hard place to sell; it's just hard to sell. A lot of people who are investors here in Tucson do not want to drive out to Sarita, do work, and get the property, that sort of thing taken care of. They don't want to do that. All right, there we go. So we're here in the Tucson side of things. Let's move on to the next story. House flipping surging in California. Where's the best place? This comes to us from Michael Finch II. He is over at the Sacramento Bee. So shout outs to Mike over there at the Sacramento Bee. The title says house flipping surged in Sacramento. Does that mean real estate is now a good investment? He writes, there are few places better for house flippers in Northern California than Sacramento County. According to Adam Data Solutions, what they had discovered, while profits were greater in the Bay Area counties, the number of homes flipped in Sacramento, 317 coincidentally, was higher in the first 3 months of 2019. Ooh, boy. And the average number of days flipped on average was lower. So, for a home flipper, okay, for somebody who's an end-use investor, an end-use customer, end-use buyer, your B buyer, your B client, right? For them, having the property sell for a high amount in a quick amount of time obviously is the best of all possible worlds, as Voltaire would have said, right? But there are obviously some places better than others. And if you're in California, you have a tough enough time as it is. I mean, God bless your heart.
Phone call has been forwarded to an automated voice.
Yeah, I want you to know that if you're living in California, I'm praying for you every day. I know that you've got a tough road to hoe if you're out there trying to make some deals happen in California, and I'm praying for you because I know it's tough. But it says that in the Sacramento region, flipping activity and profits still pale in comparison to the heady days before the Great Recession. I love the way we call it the Great Recession. Back in the days they had. Oh, well, okay.
The number you have dialed is not in service.
Gotcha. All right. So the back you got the Great Depression, and then now you have the Great Recession, right? So at the peak of activity in 2005, there were 3 times more flips in a quarter than the most recent 3-month period. So to give you some perspective, in the most recent 3-quarter period, there was 317 homes sold in the Sacramento area. In the peak of 2015, there was well over 940 something properties. 3 times 317, let's see, 3 times 3 is 9, and 17 times, I don't know, that's a whole bunch. 900 and something homes sold in a quarter. That's incredible. They also quote Adam, and that quote we said just the other day, flips accounted for about 7% of sales, a slightly larger share than the 6.9% of flipping sales volume for the entire state.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Hello? All right. Let's see here. All right. Resume. There we go. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So what does that mean? Flips being higher, not only in California, but we said that just the other day that it accounted, there was 49,049 flips in the first quarter. And that was the highest amount of flipped activity that had happened in, 7 something years. I mean, what does that mean? Well, that means that you've got a lot of competition, for one. It also means that this activity is a symptom of a housing market where consumers are eager to buy. Oh boy. The average number of days to flip a property declined in Sacramento by 10%. We're noticing flippers relieving some of the inventory because interest rates have dropped. What's more, Von Pullman said, more investors are choosing to finance the purchase of their properties before flipping them. Okay. A little more than 17% of the homes sold in the Sacramento region were to cash buyers, and 14% were sold to buyers with loans backed by the FHA. Now, this brings up an interesting point. If you're going out there and flipping properties using hard money, I understand why.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are
Hello?
you? Hi, my name's Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Good.
I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I was looking for the Martinezes. They own some property over there on Draper. Is that your property, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was calling to see if you folks had ever considered selling that property. Have you?
No.
Oh, can't blame you. That's a nice
Not
little
yet.
place. But
Huh?
I said, I can't blame you. That's a nice little place. I'm curious about how much, if you were to sell it, about how much would you consider selling it for?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I haven't even attempted. I know it's we're fighting. I'm trying to get assistance from my foreclosure.
Oh, you're in a foreclosure?
So yeah, I'm trying to get out of it. So
Oh, I see.
I mean, I'm in the process of doing the paperwork, so I should be okay.
Okay, well, good. Well,
But
God
no,
bless.
I
Hopefully,
know it's listed out there, so it's kind of got me a little nervous. But I mean, I don't want to leave home.
I see. Okay, I understand. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate your help. I'm just curious, what happens if it doesn't go through? If you're not able to save it in the foreclosure, then what's the plan?
I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm trying not to think of it that way. Right now, I'm trying to save my money so I can get the payment caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to get the payment caught up, I can get the payment caught up. But right now, it's just hopefully, I'm counting on my assistance. What do you do? Buy and sell homes?
Well, yeah, actually I do. And I'm sitting here looking at your property right now. I just noticed it. I'm sitting here looking at it on Zillow. So I see what's going on. So, okay. Well, listen, best wishes to you. I hope things work out. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye. This is an interesting thing for, I think, you to listen to. I'm glad that happened that way. Because in his particular circumstance, I mean, obviously we knew that he was a pre-foreclosure, but when you call them, you act as if, you don't even know. And the reason why is because it takes away that shame. It takes away that, I just noticed that your home is for sale, that's a foreclosure and, all that. That takes away that nastiness. Right? There's no need for you to get that way or for them to feel anything like that. Many times, if you just act dumb, like for me, it's pretty easy. You just say, hey, look, you considered selling the home. They'll come out with it many times. So it gives you an opportunity to then go back. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. My name is Carl. How are you?
Good.
I'm calling for the Fullers. They own some property on Via Elemental. Is that your home, ma'am?
What? Hello?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Hi. My name is Carl. I was looking for the homeowner on Via Elemental. Is that your home?
Hello?
Hi. My name is Carl. Can y'all understand me okay? Can you hear me okay? Habla inglés?
We don't know anybody like that.
You don't know anybody like what? The house on Via Elemental?
Like,
Is that your house on Via Elemental?
my house in Via Elemental.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. It sounds like I have the wrong number, sweetie. You have a great day, okay?
Okay.
All
Bye.
right. Don't worry, girl. You have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. So let's see here. All right. Delete that. Don't count that. Yeah. So especially if you're using the Red X, when you're talking to somebody, especially in the pre-foreclosure list, you can go right to Zillow. It's got an access link right to it. You just press bing right there next to the address. It'll pull up the Zillow listing. You can see exactly what's going on. That fellow that I was talking to, that was talking about keeping his property, turns out his property is currently on auction.com. It's already on MLS. And I'm not exactly sure what the story is there, but his...
Hi.
Hi,
So.
The likelihood of him saving that property is pretty low. And he had a manufactured home that was pretty far on the southwest of town. Again, manufactured homes, a little bit more difficult to sell here in Tucson simply because they're everywhere. It's just like land, especially when you're starting to.
Hola.
Hola, habla inglés?
Bien.
Oh, hi. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Spanish.
Oh, mi nombre es Carl Krenzel de Sotheby's Realty. Estoy llamando para saber si usted está interesado en vender su casa.
¿Cómo dice?
¿Interesado en vender su casa?
No.
Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Ajá, bye bye, de nada. All right. Now, just to be honest, to be fair, that is horrible Spanish, and I know it. I know that that's horrible Spanish. Please forgive me if you're a native Spanish speaker for butchering your language. I apologize profusely. That is the extent of my Spanish. I don't know anything other than that. I know how to say that phrase and that phrase alone. If it comes out to where they do want to sell, basically, I'm just saying, hi, my name's Carl from Sotheby's. I'm just calling to see if you're interested in selling your home. If they come back with C or yes, something like that, then great. I'll get a Spanish-speaking agent. We'll figure it out. But for the moment, I mean, I don't really know how to speak Spanish at length, but that's about the extent of it. So I just try to do what I can, the best I can for right now. I think it's a good idea for you, if you're not a Spanish speaker, to learn a little bit of Spanish or whatever the language is around you. Here in Arizona, obviously, Spanish is predominant. If, however, you're in another city where, I don't know, when you're in Detroit, Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan, let's say, you need to speak Somali. I don't know, learn to speak Somali, whatever it is. It would be helpful for you in your real estate game for you to learn how to speak other portions of other languages. You don't have to master the language, just so you know, is this person willing to sell their property? Because that's what you need to find out. If they're not willing, if they're willing to sell, then you can find somebody that will help them and you can make sure that they get served properly. Remember, what we're trying to do here is find customers, find clients, find people with real estate problems. If they've got a real estate problem, then you can. Hello?
You reach AZ Professional Services and Tax and Time Tax Professionals. We're open Monday.
You can help them if they have a real estate problem, but don't let language get in the way. So let's talk about some of the quick California areas, some of the better areas, the change in return on investment, right? As far as the first quarter of 2019, the home flips, Los Angeles County had 899 home flips with a gross profit, according to Adam Data Solutions. The gross profit on average was about $130,000. Their change in return on investment was down 9% from last year. San Diego had 457, San Diego County, that is, had 457 home flips in the first quarter of 2019, with $104,000 being the gross profit on a flip. However, their percentage in change in return on investment was down 23%. So it's not quite as profitable as it used to be in San Diego. Sacramento, on the other hand, to give you some perspective, had 317 home flips. The average profit was $92,000, and that's up 6%. So you can see that in the state of California, just like in your state and in my state, there are specific areas, as I've been mentioning. I don't want to go down to Sarita. I don't want to go to 3 Points. I don't want to go to. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi there. This is Carl. How are you today?
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. I might have the wrong number. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was actually looking for the owners of a property over there on Earp Wash. Is that your property?
No.
Oh my gosh, I got the wrong number. I apologize. Hey, since I got okay. Wrong number. Right. Delete that. Don't count it. All right, resume. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, here in my state, as
But the person you called has a
as
voice.
well as your state, has some place better than others, and California's the same way. Santa Clara County had 124 home flips with 192 gross profit, but their change in return on investment, negative 51%. They've lost 51% change in their return on investment. If you were thinking that you were going to make a certain amount a year ago, well, the reality was you made about 51% less return on your investment than you anticipated. The final one, Placer County, oh my goodness, said that they had 63 home flips. The gross profit was $34,500, and the percent change was negative 71%. Seems that Placer County, California is not a very popular place to go ahead and do a flip. So that will certainly help serve you there if you're in California. So finally, the final story we're going to cover today in this short prospecting session is your local real estate market about to heat up. 5 signs to watch for. So I'm going to go through these signs very quickly, and then I'm going to give you maybe an alternative to think about if to be on the lookout, if you will, about why or when your market is about to collapse or crash, right? Because just as there are 5 signs that you can see things going up, then you have 5 or more signs that you can see where things are starting to collapse or go down. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in on my own, and we're going to go through and see what these people from the Forbes Real Estate Council have to say. Now, this is a post.
Frontera Financial, this is Tina. How may I help you?
Oh, Tina, I got the wrong number. I apologize.
Oh, no problem.
You have a great day. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Again, if you heard from yesterday's prospecting, we're going 4 numbers deep. So heaven only knows. I mean, that might have been where the person might have used to work or something. So today's post was written by the expert panel at Forbes.
The number 5207.
Forbes Real Estate Council. There are 5 members of the Forbes Real Estate Council share some of the telltale signs they look for in a local real estate market that's heating up. And here's what they said. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into that right now. Let's see what they have to say. As I shake this for dramatic effort.
Sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up.
Okay. Number 1. All right. High deal activity and record profits. This comes to us from Remy Reisner from Proteus Capital Management. Thank you, Mr. Reisner, Miss Reisner, whatever, for, it looks like a Mr., I suppose, Mr. Reisner, for giving us your opinion. I appreciate that very much. He says, typically reading news about all-time high deal activity and record profits from early investors is a telltale sign about any real estate market heating up. Really? You know, I'm not trying to be critical. It just seems to me, Remy, that that's kind of a duh, isn't it? I mean, if you see the news deals going up and record profit, I mean, that's the telltale sign. Sure. Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who is this?
My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
I'm fine. Who are you with?
Yeah, my name's Carl. I'm actually a broker here in town who buys property. I was calling about a property that was on Dodge Boulevard. Is that your property? Okay. I'll take that as a not interested. Whammo. You know, Remy, I appreciate your advice. He says, usually in a similar fashion, financial news pointing to a favorable real estate market is a telltale sign, such as low or decreasing interest rates, favorable economic environment, etc. Well, that's true. But by that same logic, you could say that low deal activity and people losing profits, as well as increasing pending times or fewer pending homes, could also be an indicator.
Hauser speaking.
Oh, hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good. Who's speaking?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was looking for the owners of a property over there on Hollybrook. Is that your home?
Used to be.
Oh,
We moved out. We sold it and moved out officially May 1st of 2017.
oh, well, God bless your heart. Okay, no worries. Well, listen, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No, we no longer live in Tucson.
Oh, okay, great. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and I hope you have a great day, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Wrong number. Count them as a contact. Resume. All right, here we go. Let's move on to point number 2, cap rates. Okay. In the commercial real estate market, this comes to us from Sam Grooms from Whitehaven Capital. He says that in the commercial real estate market, anytime we see cap rates equal to or lower than interest rates, I'm going to repeat that. In commercial real estate, anytime we see cap rates,
Non-working number. Please check the number.
all
and
right,
dial again.
delete that one. Anytime we see cap rates equal to or lower than interest rates, it's a sign the market may be too hot. Okay, I'm going to repeat this. In the commercial real estate market, anytime you see cap rates equal to or lower than interest rates, it's a sign that the market may be too hot. Leverage is used to increase your returns, but can have the opposite effect in this type of environment.
Please leave your message
You know,
for.
I would be inclined to agree. Sam, I think is 100. Hello?
Please leave your message for.
I think Sam is 100% on point there when he says that if you've got cap rates that are equal to or lower than the interest rates, then you're going to have a problem. Hello? 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 When you start talking about cap rates versus your cash on cash return, I mean, if your cap rates that you're getting on your property is lower than it's costing you, that's not so good. Means that there's just too much out there. Right?
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? Well, thank you. I'm not sure if I've got the right person. I apologize. I was looking for the Burrs. They own some property over there on Carefree. Is that your property?
No, you got the wrong number.
Okay, I thought I might have. No problem. Well, listen, since I got you, anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No, not at the moment. I'm at work right now.
All right, brother. Well, listen, have a great day. Thank you.
All right, you
Take
too.
care. Bye-bye. Right. Wrong number. Delete. Count as a contact. All right. Resume. Third point. The days on market and inventory. This comes to us from Fred McGill from Simple Showing. He says, typically one should keep an eye out for days on market and inventory. If homes are selling fast, it's an obvious sign. But if inventory levels of similar properties flood the market, that's a bad sign. Yes, indeed, Fred. I agree with you 100%. And that's really what we're seeing here now. We're seeing homes of a similar type. Okay. Similar type. He says, if inventory levels of similar properties flood the market, that's a bad sign. Well, what do we have now in most of the markets we have now? Oh, it's true. I get it. Yes. Inventory levels. You may not have a ton of inventory. I get that. Okay. However, it does not mean that things are not selling. I mean, just your own pendings. Look on your own MLS. I mean, if you don't believe me, look on your own MLS. Tell me, are the pendings in your areas starting to expand? Are you starting to find that you're having a longer days on market regardless of the price range? Are you finding that you're having more homes on the market even though things are still selling? It's not like it's a bad market. But it's
Has been forwarded
This is
to an
taking a
automatic
little
voice
longer.
message system.
taking a little bit longer. Your sellers are asking a few more questions. You have to run ads, maybe do a couple extra open houses. I don't know. They're starting to call these offer pad places. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, Carl Krenzel. How you doing?
Good.
Um,
Who are you?
Yeah, no problem. My name's Carl, Carl Krenzel. I might actually have the wrong person. I apologize. I'm actually looking for the owner of a home on Polaris. Is that your property, sir? Yep, that's him. With the quick hung up, too. All right. Fourth point. This comes to us from Christopher Lombardi from Lombardi Residential LLC. He says, I like to see new restaurants opening up. People nowadays like to be near downtown restaurants where they can walk to restaurants and shopping. New trendy restaurants opening up is a sign that the demand is beginning to pick up and people are moving into the neighborhood. Okay. Well, God bless your heart. I mean, I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and we have a different situation here. We don't have a city that is urban like that. I mean, we have an urban downtown, of course we do, but a majority of the people who live in and around Tucson and Pima County live in the outlying areas, and we don't go downtown for new trendy restaurants. That's not what we do. We stay in our area of town where we live, and we don't walk to restaurants and shopping. It is 110 degrees outside and the pavement melts underneath your shoes. Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine.
I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize. I was looking for the owner of a home over there on 3rd Street. Is that your property, sir?
No, sir.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I got the wrong number. I apologize. Hey, since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted property? No, guess not. Okay. Let's see. Wrong number. Count as a transaction. Or count. There we go. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I mean, here in Tucson, you're not really going to find a lot of new shopping and trendy restaurants. That's a sign of demand picking up. It is a sign of a healthy economy, and I would agree with that. And a healthy economy brings people. True. New shopping means that there's new people that got to work there. There's new shopping means people got to shop there. So yeah, I agree with that. But I wouldn't necessarily look for new restaurants opening up as a sign of an increasing market any more than I would look at restaurants closing down as a sign of a market that's decreasing. Unless, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, hello. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Okay, this is who?
I'm sorry about that. My name is Carl. Carl Krenzel. I'm calling about a house that was for. I was calling about a house that was over there on Kai Dened. Is that your property, sir?
No, sir.
Oh my gosh, I got the wrong number. Okay, no problem. Well, listen, I appreciate you. Hey, since I got you anyway,
Yeah.
do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate you, and you have a wonderful day. Okay.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Number there. Delete that. Count that as a contact. Resume. Okay. Last point. New construction starting. This comes to us from Terry Painter from Apartment Loan Store. This right here, I have to be honest with you, is probably one of my favorite points out of this entire panel. I think this is 100% accurate and true where you are as well. It says one of the best. Hello?
You've reached the phone mail of Jim Spalton. Please leave your
that's
name
the
and
wrong
number,
number
and
altogether.
I will get back to you as soon as I can.
That's not who I want. All right. One of the best signs of commercial real estate heating up is the start of new construction. In Portland, Oregon, where I'm based, there have been too many construction starts in downtown Portland, the Pearl District, and the Alphabet District. So these markets are not heating up and have actually overbuilt in multifamily. However, there have been relatively few construction starts in the surrounding suburbs. Because there's a shortage of housing and industrial space, these markets are heating up. You know, this is a very good point where you are too, because it applies to your residential market in the same manner. You will find that some areas will have a lot of construction in your town. Certain central, east, south, whatever the particular area that's in your town, they're going to find an area. And
Hello?
good morning. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was looking for the owners of a property over there on Scarlet Canyon. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm an agent in town who buys properties. I was actually calling to see if you folks had considered selling that property. Have you?
Yes, actually, my neighbor is interested in buying it.
Oh, no joke. Okay, great. If you don't mind me asking, about how much would you ask for the property if you were to sell it?
I guess right now I'm looking at about what is it? I'm trying to think of 169, 179. Probably about 185, 190.
Okay, all right. And if you don't mind me asking, about how much do you suppose the house is worth?
I just had it appraised for 201.
Wow. Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Let's see. And what kind of things, if anything, do you have wrong with it?
Nothing. It's got a brand new air conditioner. Pool pump probably needs to be cleaned.
Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. And I'm curious about how old is it? I'm just kind of looking at it. It looks like it's a 1,152 square feet, and it's 2.5 bath. I assume that's a 3-bedroom.
No, it's a 2-bedroom and it's a 2-bath.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And ideally, when would you like to close by?
I'm working on that now.
No problem.
They're
No
supposed to be
problem.
coming up with a contract, so.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
Because foreclosure date is, I think, July 24th. So
Okay. Well, then hopefully everything will work out for the both of you. Okay.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. God bless. Take care. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So on that particular one, we probably could have, fought to make some sort of appointment happen on that. But while I was looking at it, I was looking at the Zillow thing on there. The foreclosure on there is 191. She just reduced the price, and the foreclosure date's coming up, as she knows. But yeah, 2-bedroom, that's a little expensive. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to this issue of overbuilding, right? Same thing happens where you are. People will overbuild for your neighborhood, and people will go ahead and in certain areas or whatever, and then other areas they will be completely left alone, and that's why you'll see a lot of infill.
Please leave your message.
You'll see a lot of infill lots being built, a lot of crazy new maybe.
Please leave your message for.
Maybe even somebody who's doing a semi-custom build. So understand that new construction starts affects your build as well, affects your resale, affects your investments. All right, well, guys, listen, I'm going to go ahead and get scooting here. It is 9:15. We've prospected for about an hour now. I appreciate the fact that each and every one of you have been listening. I really appreciate the fact that all of you have been sharing this on social media as well as the podcast, listening to it on the redpillinvestor.com. Guys, thank you so much. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me via email or direct message. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. Thank you so much. And as always, I hope you have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.